I'd like to share with you a simple membership site model that you can use to capture prospects, turn them into clients, and offer materials and resources that you're getting paid to deliver. I'm Justin Hitt from Ad Briefing's Copywriting Tips. Now, you've likely heard of a membership site. As a copywriter, marketer, or business development professional, maybe you've created membership sites for clients or added content to those sites, wrote sales letters, and you have the basic concepts. A membership site is a place behind a paywall that a community of interest can gather to get resources and information. It's a private library that a consultant might open up to clients and charge a subscription to. It's a place where you can determine your prospect's interest without putting all of your materials out in the public. A membership site is a lot of different things. But I actually was doing it the wrong way. So let me give you a little backstory. About 10 years ago, maybe 15 years ago, I had a membership site that had 400 paid subscribers. Those paid subscribers paid anywhere from $9.95 a month to $39.95 a month. Now, I had a very tiny handful that were paying $397 a month. So I set up the same model today in 2020. Actually, I started in 2018, and I was getting no traffic, no traction, and very few, maybe one or two subscribers. Something had changed about membership sites. And I'm putting together today's podcast because I believe a membership site or a subscription or paid newsletter solves a lot of problems for a consultant, for someone who has knowledge, and whether it's your client that you're building a site for or yourself, it helps you qualify individuals before they commit to a larger ticket product. So for example, if you're a professional services provider with a high ticket solution, your prospect really has no place for you to start the relationship without a large commitment, and they may be uncomfortable with that decision to hire. A membership site or paid newsletter can fit the ticket right there. Maybe your client sells a complex solution that has a lot of risk of implementation, and the subject matter person or the decision maker wants to get in and get details about one solution versus another. They want to make a better buying decision, and you find this takes a lot of your sales cycle, just educating folks, getting them up to par. Many copywriters have this problem when it comes to direct response. So Dan Kennedy has a membership site through what was GKIC, and now it's No BS Inner Circle. That site really teaches people direct response. I've been a member for 15 years or so. I pay them to learn how direct response works. And through that, I bought services and products and joined coaching programs. And we'll get into that here shortly. But a membership site also gives you a ready audience to test ideas and to really keep your skills sharp and to showcase your successes. See, if you send a case study to somebody who doesn't know who you are, doesn't have any interaction or relationship with you, they very often will see it as marketing. But if they've paid you a nominal $19 a month, or they've paid you, $97 a year to get a paid newsletter from you, a success story is really a demonstration of how something works. And like I said, I had a membership site, 400 subscribers. Now, many of these subscribers were non-practitioners. They were learning copywriting, business development, that kind of stuff, and they were non-practitioners. The more I got into the list, the ones at the lower ticket side were probably never going to practice, and the ones at the higher ticket side were practicing, and they had really specific needs. So, again, I set up Ad Briefing's Copywriting Tips, Inside Strategic Relations, Sustainable Wealth Secrets, Prosperity Homestead. These are the newsletters that I'm talking about. They're all paid subscription sites. Again, zero traction in the last couple of years. And it was a couple days ago where I'm on a mastermind meeting. It's an open Q&A session, and I share my story. Hey, this is what I've done. I've podcasted. I've written blog posts. I still have no traction at this membership site. I don't even have visitors seeing the sales letter. I feel like a failure. I didn't actually say that, but I do. I feel like I did everything that I've done before that worked very well, but it's not working today. Now, there's some reasons it didn't work today. Your clients, yourself, you're facing volumes of content out on the internet. Volumes and volumes and volumes of content. Content that's mainly selling advertising, But if you're selling advertising on a professional services site, it's kind of cheesy. It just doesn't look good. Now, you could publish your content on other people's websites, yet they're going to benefit from your content, and you still might not get any subscribers. So the membership site model, where you have a paywall and you have your content behind the paywall, at least you know who's interested in your content, even if they're paying $1. But I was telling the group here, and the leader of the group, Darcy Juarez, she's the chief business strategist of the No BS Inner Circle newsletter. She's a prominent direct response marketing expert. This is what she said to me, and I wrote it down. Membership site as a fallback, downsell, or bonus to high-ticket consulting clients between projects. And this is I paraphrased what she wrote, but it was so profound, and that's what I want to share with you today. The membership site model or paid newsletter model doesn't have to be a business of its own. It can simply be a gift or an entry point for your high-ticket sale. Now, when she said this, it reminded me of all the times it had been a successful bonus for after I did a paid consultation. So I get a client with a paid consultation, and what I was already doing is after the paid consultation, I would summarize the report of findings into an audio or create a podcast, and I would send it to that individual. And you've probably heard me say a lot of times that nobody's heard the podcast except for the one person who asked the question, because I literally have their address, I have their phone number, I have their email. I literally contact them and say, oh, by the way, the question you had, I answered it on the podcast. Here's the link. Well, guess what? She opened up a new concept, a new door, and it really got me thinking, is that the most success I've been getting from a membership site in the recent years is giving 7 days, giving a month. Sometimes for many of my clients, I give a whole year as a benefit to hiring me for something else. So they've taken the time to do a paid consultation. I've written a report of findings. I summarize an element out of the report of findings to be podcast content, and then I send them a link. Well, there's many times where I have a library, and I do have a library of private materials, and I've sent a link with, hey, I'm going to give you 7 days on my membership site for free, no sign up. Here, click this link. And then here are the 3 articles you want to look at. They specifically answer your questions. Well, with what she's described, it's another way to use a membership site, even if you have 0 subscribers. Now here, this is why it's so important. This is extremely valuable, and listen carefully. It becomes a way to serve the members or the customers or the clients that you most want to keep. It's a retention tool. I can give them the whole newsletter archive. I can give them the whole my whole case study reports. I can do all of this without publicly putting the information out there. I can give them recordings of consultations. I can give them presentations in long-form lectures or Q&A sessions. And I can do it in such a way where I'm not giving away the store. See, a lot of those people who are creating content and just putting it out on the internet are doing nothing except feeding Google. And sometimes you feed the confusion because as someone jumps around to different websites getting information, they don't have a commitment or any kind of low-risk way to simply ask you a question if something's unclear. Instead, they leave the site and they go someplace else, and then they just stay confused. So I can better serve my clients. I can create credibility with them. I can continue the relationship after the transaction. A lot of my coaching and my client projects are, 5-6 figures, and when they're done, they don't really have a need to do it again. See, I'm not one of those consultants that kind of camps out at the client site. I try to build something that's a package that they can go use, and then they can move on. And I started publishing some of those packages online as part of tutorials or part of the membership site. And I thought, well, just because they're good and my clients have made millions of dollars using them, that people would be like magnetically attracted to it. And it turns out it's not the case. But my point being is that you can use a membership site to qualify prospects while keeping your overhead low. But you can also use it, as Darcy's pointed out, to reward those clients that do make commitments. Now, here's what's important. The concept strategy or the content strategy that you have now becomes more of an internal library building strategy. And everything you've ever mailed to clients, every sales letter that you've ever created for clients, every piece of material that you've created to get a customer can be adapted or recycled. And we talk about this in my programs about recycle your marketing, but can be recycled into content for your internal use that you can, again, reward customers with. You can sell it straight out as a membership site. I do from time to time get paid membership subscribers. You can make it part of your sales funnel, and it just drives forward doing the work once and benefiting from it many times. So I want to thank Darcy for pointing this out to me and really making it connect. And really, here's the reason why a membership site is so valuable. And I already know this. I've benefited from it. I want to make sure you know this. And I want to make sure that if you've got a client that has an opportunity, that you help them understand this. But the first thing is that it creates a resource once that you can use many times. Again, a year of newsletters, your customer is only going to see them one at a time. But if they can deep dive and binge on your materials, you'll have greater credibility and they're more likely to hire you for services. Number two is it keeps who sees the details. So you know who sees the details. I used to code my special reports, and when someone downloaded the report, I could tell which reports were forwarded or which reports were uploaded to one of those BitTorrents. But often what I'd find out is these things would fizzle out over time, and I never really knew who the person was that looked at the materials. Well, with a membership site or paid newsletter, you know who is involved because they've made a monetary transaction. You've got their address, you've got their email, you've got their details. And number three, the final one, is a lot of reasons why, but I like to wrap this podcast up, is that it gives a prospect a next level without risk. One of the biggest things about a membership site that I know is there and is valuable is that it lets your clients or prospects really for $19 unlock your brain. They can stop. They don't have to pick your brain by asking you questions. It's very passive for you, but they can get answers that help them understand what they need to do next without involving you in every step of the way. And you get enough to cover overhead. You get enough to send some marketing pieces out to them. But ultimately, it's very satisfying to them. And so now that I it's solidified in my brain, another benefit of a membership site is what Darcy Juarez pointed out, is that a membership site can be a fallback, a downsell, or a bonus to high-ticket consulting. So every copywriter, marketer, business development professional here, you've got those 5-figure projects that come up here and there. You've got those 4-figure projects that come up here and there. But what are you doing for your clients between assignments? And again, this is if you have the membership model set up, you can just issue them a username and password. You can send a link out there. You're going to know when they visit the site. So let's say they haven't visited in a while. And I've got a nice model set up with my membership sites where I can actually see who are the most active subscribers. And if they're really active on the membership site, that means they got problems they want to solve. And so I can go get to know them a little better. So it's an intelligence tool. So the key thing you want to go away with here right now is don't be just publishing content everywhere. Let's work on building towards content that is credible, is building your credibility. So books, reports. We want to look at content that generates leads. So that's your email series. That could be your membership site. And then we want to look, and this is the power of a mastermind. We also want to look at content that creates that retention. You know, I know you're probably doing a prospect newsletter, and every one of your past clients are getting the prospect newsletter. Well, what if they could take the next step and see the archive? And they could see additional materials, and they could see how-to guides, checklists, and other resources. Sure, you can still give those things away in lead generation campaigns, but if there was a place they can go, what would that be worth to them? How much time could you save them? And that's really what it's about. A membership site becomes another resource or tool that is on the entry-level side of your new customer engagements. And ultimately, as a copywriter or marketer, you can create content for your clients and help them sell their own membership sites. And just to leave you with it, even Northern Tools has a membership level. I subscribe to the Northern Tools membership that gives me free shipping. Amazon Prime, I get videos and audio, music, and free shipping. It just goes down the line. If you've got questions about a membership site or the use of paywalls and other types of content that gets you more details about the customer while giving them a low-risk way to get involved with what you have to offer, visit me at www.adbriefings.co.uk and ask your questions there. I'm Justin Hitt with Ad Briefings Copywriting Tips. I'm here to help you create and keep profitable customers and transform business relationships into profits guaranteed.